What's up, Familia? Dayspring here to discuss this week's X-Men 97 Danger.exe. And of course, we could not be covering X-Men 97 Season 2 without the great Chris from Planet X-Men.
Episode 6, baby.
6. I have a lot of feels on this. I'm curious, what is your temperature on this, Chris?
On the whole episode?
On the whole episode, your general impression.
Well, yeah, I did love it. I know there's some discord creeping in to social media saying they want to get back to the apocalypse plot, but we can talk about that. I have very interesting things to say, but yeah, I enjoyed it again.
You enjoyed it. I did not enjoy it. I know. Shocker.
I'm gonna be honest. You could have 22 minutes of Storm reading a Rob Liefeld book, and I would probably enjoy it. Sorry if you're Rob Liefeld. I just enjoyed seeing X-Men on my screen.
You know what?
Sorry.
I will tell you, that is something I am trying to lean into a lot, is I am enjoying seeing X-Men on the screen and waking up at like 6 a.m., getting my bagel and watching this. It does make me happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're only like 7 weeks out of the year this is going to be on, maybe even 2 years. So I'm going to enjoy every bloody moment.
Okay, well, why don't we dive in and we can chat about every bloody moment, because I think there's a lot happening here and we should chat about it. So here's the opening scene with Xavier in the Danger Room, and he's replaying Magneto's death from ancient Egypt.
He's torturing himself. He's replaying the scene from episode 4, where Magneto and Apocalypse went at it, and Apocalypse won, and it was the last time we saw Magneto. And this is interesting because you have to not think. This episode makes you think about the Danger Room, but you also have to not think about the Danger Room too much, because this Danger Room has real power. How can I say? What's stopping all these X-Men from going to the Danger Room and loading up, all the people that have died, and just like spending time with them in there?
Yeah.
It's a really morbid room. Obviously, they use it for fighting, they use it for training, and it's Shi'ar technology. But it's obviously really realistic. He's creating a scene from his own life. And playing it out again and again, which obviously we learn that Danger, moves on to its next a different direction to how it went, But, what's to stop Cyclops from coming here, or Rogue, sorry, and just like talking to Gambit? It's a really creepy place. So it does make sense that Danger herself was creepy. It brings up all sorts of questions. We did eventually see someone die. Someone non-consequential, like Wing, but there were consequences, just not for main X-Men.
Okay.
You're giggling.
I'm giggling because poor Wing is like the only person who has died in the Danger Room and like was reanimated in the most grotesque way possible. That did not happen here. It's really interesting. This is why I love talking to you, because I agree with you about the dangers of having this technology, because you're replaying some traumatic events. But, there's that study, or there was like an article that came out a couple of weeks ago about AI, which is essentially the Danger Room for all intents and purposes, and how people are using AI to have like an AI boyfriend, girlfriend, generating AI images to help grieve and cope with trauma. And so that's exactly 100% what we're seeing here with the Danger Room. Xavier is replaying that final moment for himself. I guess he's trying to get clarity on the situation. He keeps thinking like, oh, if it was me who had been who Apocalypse killed, you would have found a way to have saved both of us. And Xavier blames himself for being pretty weak. So I like, I'm going to give it to you on that one, because when I saw this opening shot, for me, with this red, like looking at it strictly from production, I think they were just recycling the animation from the previous episodes to pad out the episode, this current episode. Um,
Yeah, good
because
point.
that's something they always do, because I don't believe the scene is definitely added in, and was not part of Bo's like greater vision. And this writer in this episode does have three writers on it. So,
Oh,
this is a very drastic change to from what I've understood over the years to what was originally supposed to happen. So we are now seeing the major pivot from former showrunner Bo the Mayo
okay.
to the new
But
status
it does
quo.
work. It does work because he's recreating his trauma through his slave, his technology slave, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna mess this up a little bit." It
I
becomes
know
sentient.
she's
We'll
so
talk about Danger
shady.
later, but some people aren't happy with how Danger has been adapted. What they were saying to me, but this is obviously the start. The first time we see is when Apocalypse's foot goes too far on Xavier's head. And I also want to say the continuity of the Danger Room. I might be off here, but I think it's a bit skiffy because the X-Men's Danger Room was in the very first issue of Uncanny X-Men, right?
Yep.
But they say it was adapted to from Shi'ar technology. So maybe they just improved it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
they used to just train. But in this show, they didn't meet the Shi'ar until Phoenix season 3, maybe. But
Yep.
they had
Yep.
the Danger Room before then, is that right?
Yep. 100%.
So we've never really confirmed, I guess, if this is the Shi'ar's fault that it's malfunctioning or, what it didn't really go into it too much, did it?
No, and like this is where, and I've talked about this with other people on DMs. I think what make the X-Men such a great IP is the storytelling and the sophistication with the storytelling. I think this very much reads like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is not bad. The robot
Mm-hmm.
goes evil. That's sort of like a little trope there. But I think there was supposed to be a larger story for why Danger would become self-aware, and we don't get that here. Um,
We have to again file it under Madeline Pryor. We have to file it. It's no, I'm not. That's not shade. It's just like there's not enough time to build up like there was in the comics.
Yeah, and I agree with you on
You
that.
know.
But like this is something I always think about with the X-Men, especially when thinking about the X-Men coming to the MCU officially. You got to
Mhm.
build up. What make X-Men stories so special is that you build up to it, right? You can't just do Dark Phoenix. You have to show
Yeah.
Jean who she was, how she becomes Phoenix, and then her fall from grace. Similarly with Age of Apocalypse, you can't just do Age of Apocalypse. You have to establish Xavier and Legion. So I would say the same with the Danger Room. I wish they would have sprinkled in some more world building. And I can forgive in
Mhm.
one episode that she becomes self-aware, but I wish they would have just said, "Oh, that Shi'ar tech we put in back during the Phoenix saga, or whenever you want to place it. Oh, it looks like it had an effect
Mhm.
on the Danger Room." I just think it also cheapens the story from Astonishing, because do you remember what the key thing in Astonishing X-Men was? That
Uh,
Xavier knew that Danger was
oh,
self-aware, and he ignored her
yeah.
for years, and that is why Danger's angry.
Mm. I mean, Josh Whedon wrote the original series, and he kind of did have these plots loosely in Buffy. There was a demon who went onto the internet and then put itself into a robot. There was Adam. It's not an original thought in his head. I don't think he adapted it to the X-Men, but it did work in the X-Men, which an astonishing X-Men, which was good. I like Danger. We'll obviously talk about her later, but he is planting a quick 5-minute seed here in this scene. Also, is Xavier wearing ancient Egyptian garb?
I was
Like,
about to say that too. Yes, he didn't
did
change.
he dressed up for this scenario? Weird. Xavier is kind of taking not Magneto's death a bit far, but I mean, nobody else has really died on the show. Well, you know what? Stop. He never grieved like this for Gambit. He never dressed up as Rogue and went to the Danger Room, did he?
Yeah, he was just like meh on Gambit.
Yeah. I also want to quickly just talk about the what's the word? The continuity between the previous episodes and this episode. It kind of annoyed me. This was the one thing I didn't like about this episode. We're just back to normal in the mansion. Everybody's back in the present. They kind of made us have a Wolverine app to forget about the Xavier was in the past on his own, and the mansion was destroyed. There seems to be a lot of time passed between.
Well, I agree with you. That's where I kind of was scratching my head because, all right, so
Mm,
the mansion is now up and running. I mean, I guess that Xavier trust, you know what I mean? Like the world has to
yeah.
get readjusted to the X-Men being back again. And that, when it was such a big
Hmm.
plot point that they were dead or missing. And we really don't even get a beat with Rogue absorbing
No.
Magneto's death, especially since,
Yeah.
she's there at the end. That's it. There's no
Hmm.
she's unfazed by Magneto's death, or at least we're not seeing it.
There's no room for two grieving Magneto, or
Magneto's like,
three if you want
oh, excuse
to.
me. Xavier's like, shut up, Rogue. This is my moment here. Like you have
Yeah.
Remy.
You've done all your grieving.
You've done all
Yeah,
your
I mean,
grieving.
if there was a time lapse, it should have been kind of mentioned. It feels a bit coming off the back of the first four episodes. It seems there is something slightly missing um, in this one.
So we then jump to some cargo being stolen, some contraband, and it's the Purifiers
Hmm.
led by William Stryker.
Yes. So Friends of Humanity are out. Purifiers are in. They were the ones in the first season, right?
Yeah,
Friends of
yeah,
Humanity. Yeah, they were
yep,
hunting Sunspot. Yeah, we've got a new group here, the Purifiers, who maybe came in the early 2000s into the comics with Second Coming and X Force, I think, and that whole plot.
yep, yep. And
Yeah.
they were definitely really big in the Messiah complex, if I remember correctly. They are the ones who torched the
Yes.
town that baby Spalding, aka Hope Summers, is born in.
Mm-hmm.
They torch it because they found out about the mutant Messiah being born. So I find the purifiers to be incredibly terrifying. Um, Here they feel a bit more just like villain of the week, but they're
Mm.
interrupted by Polaris. Popo
Yep.
shows up to stop them.
She's on a mission from Val. She's on a solo, I guess. I mean, they say they didn't want Polaris to go too hard, but she seems to be the only one there doing anything. I did feel a bit bad for Polaris. She was kind of thrown under the bus with this one.
Well, I mean, these are people who are armed. I didn't quite get why Val was like, stand down," because the first of all,
Mm.
these are purifiers. They're
Mhm.
killing mutants, presumably. She's basically by herself, and there's a whole army of purifiers with guns being pointed at her, like, and they're shooting at her. Look at that. They're multiple shooting at her, and yes, she can handle
Yeah.
herself, but like, if they're gonna shoot one person, they're gonna shoot a lot of other people. So I don't think she was out of
Mhm.
line here.
I love Polaris's effects on these episodes. You never really saw Magneto do flips in the air and tricks and shards everywhere, and cyclones of metal. He was kind of moving things, like giant things, but he wasn't doing all this,
I
I
mean,
don't
look at
think. Is
this.
that fair?
The
Yeah.
animation, yeah, that's very fair. And I just want to say that the animation here, that's beautiful. It
Hmm.
is top notch.
Yeah.
Like
This is
this
good stuff.
sequence is great. But
Yeah.
yeah, Val Cooper's not
This is
happy.
this. It makes me think that she's not Mystique. There's a lot of theories saying that Val is Mystique. This episode made me think it can't be Mystique.
Mm.
Her Mystique just wouldn't do all this.
Yeah, Mystique isn't
She's
that committed. Mystique's just coming in to steal the
yeah,
secrets and leaving. That's a fair point.
she's
Well,
she's chaos. She's not bureaucratic like this Val.
yeah, I don't know. I think she's Mystique because of what was on season one, but I agree on season
Hmm.
two. I'm not seeing Mystique here. I mean, this is
Yeah.
definitely too in the weeds. So
Hmm.
I don't know. The other point I wanted to bring up that a lot of people have spoken about too, um, is Polaris's voice casting because originally it was supposed to be Neve Campbell.
Yes.
Neve Campbell's no
From
longer,
Scream.
from Scream. How did you feel
Hmm.
about Polaris's voice actress in this episode?
Yeah, good question. Getting used to it more in this episode to feel a bit better. The first time we saw her in episode two, I want to say, yeah, I wasn't convinced by it, but here it's better. And because she's talking to regular members of the cast, it feels a lot better. Obviously, she was talking to like Cable and Havoc in episode two. They were all new voices, so we were getting used to so many voices. This one feels a lot more natural. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think for a character like Polaris, who's presumably going to have some kind of role this season or the remaining episodes, you want to have that stunt casting like you did with Theo James and Bastion. But I think the voice
Mhm.
actress is doing a great job here. It's not, she's not poor, but it's not the stunt casting I was hoping for someone like Polaris. I think it would have made a lot more people excited. People already love Polaris. I mean, look at that effect here. Talking about what you said.
I don't remember her saying a word on the original show. I mean, I've watched the
She,
episode so many times. I cannot
she
remember a
goes,
thing.
so the actress who voiced her is Terry Hawks, who voices Sailor Moon
Oh.
in the English dub. And you will remember she goes, Bobby, I Havoc, like that. And then she flies to Havoc. Havoc. So no disrespect to Terry Hawks, our goddess,
I'm
because I
so
love it.
sorry, Terry, if you're watching.
Yeah, Terry's like a big fan of Power Bats, which tunes into every week. No, not at all. Yeah, Polaris looks beautiful though. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a
I
great
mean,
opening
yeah, an
sequence.
alternate universe. Somewhere there's Neve Campbell, an alternate universe narrating Polaris, but not here. So I think it's good. Yeah. I'm used to her now by this episode.
Oh shit, you know what I just realized? This is kind of fun. The purifiers are ready to die when that thing is falling on them.
Yes.
Look at that.
I thought it was an interesting moment. He was like happy to die by a mutant. That's a bit weird to me. He's like closing
Yeah.
his eyes, embracing like being killed by a mutant. Maybe he thinks like it will just strengthen his cause being killed by. We don't know much about the purifiers. We don't know who's leading them, or do we?
William Stryker, that's it. Well, and it's not
Okay.
even really said. He just comes in via
Yeah.
hologram.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, he's ready to die to maybe strengthen the cause against. And this guy has scars on his face. This main guy has like
Yeah,
what
so
scars? You
I
want to
think
say?
that's Executioner from season one. I think his character model had scars on his face. So I think that's Carl
Ah,
back. Carl is back.
okay. Good spot. Good spot. Yeah.
Oh, and there's Havoc.
Cringe.
Havoc stops the ship falling on the purifiers,
Ugh.
which I get it. They're the government. They have to be arresting these people, not killing them. But there they are. There's the rest of X Factor.
Strong guy. Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane's horrible voice, offensive voice to all Scottish people. Havoc. It's so sad because when I was a kid, Havoc used to be my favorite character, and they've just done him so dirty over the years. And this show does him so dirty. Like he's not the guy to root for.
No, someone called, or no, it was
Mm,
Jubilee who called him knockoff Cyclops. That was
mm.
hysterical. I'm shocked they haven't put two and two together yet. That's a plot point in X-Men 97 that I'm shocked they haven't put Havoc and Cyclops together and solved that already.
Yeah, and we know Vulcan is in the universe because he was with Deathbird's Imperial Guard last season. So one day, was that rewind that is that Exodus that TV
Hang on,
on
let's
the
go
right hand
back.
screen?
Let's go back. Let's see if that was Exodus.
On the right hand
Uh,
screen, I just noticed there.
I
Who's in?
don't.
Who's been detained?
I can't see who's being detained. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in. It doesn't really
Mm,
show. It looks like an ambiguous mutant with red skin.
okay.
There's Trish. It looks like her scars have healed. She saw her dermatologist, so she looks good there. Um, And yeah, this scene is basically Val Cooper firing Polaris and confirming to the
Yeah.
audience that she is Magneto's daughter.
Mhm. This is where, yeah, the Mystique thing just went out the window for me. Doesn't make any sense. And if it is Mystique, then we'll be watching this episode dubiously because this isn't how Mystique acts. I mean, this is all our theories, fan theories. So the makers could be watching this saying, why do they keep inserting these wild theories? But, it could be. It was in the comics. So,
Yeah. And Mystique is one of those characters everyone is constantly asking about. And I do think she's hiding in plain sight here. She's too big of a character.
mm,
Rogue, Nightcrawler are all being featured. So how could they not? But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, listen, Pilar's being fired from X Factor because she acted the way she did. I feel like they have larger problems out there, but sure. Um, the next scene, though, is they're in the locker room and we get a
Yep.
shirtless Havoc with like his six pack.
Yes, Wolfbane is there again. She's permanently in Wolf's mode, which is interesting. They don't want to show characters who have mutations ever in their normal human form in the show. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah,
Like, have
I
you
want to.
noticed that the only Generation X character that's missing is Husk?
Yeah,
The others all have, things about them like penance and chamber and skin that you can
yeah.
look at. Yeah, so it's interesting that they keep the mutations permanently on screen. But yep, Hand of Havoc is shirtless.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was hoping we were going to get Paige in this episode because she has appeared
Mm-hmm.
already in the original series. Um,
Mm.
but she seems to be nowhere. She was a kid, so presumably some time has passed, so she would be older.
Yeah.
I think the internet broke though because we have Thirsty Havoc in his towel right there, like he's working out. And
If
Wolf's
you're
fane's like
lusting
goodbye.
after Havoc, yeah, if you're lusting after Havoc, then there might be something wrong with you.
Can I ask you? Like, I have I can in my head pinpoint exactly where they got Havoc wrong in the comics. Where do you think modern comics failed Havoc?
Um, you go first.
I'm gonna say I was so excited for him to be on Uncanny Avengers. I thought him
Ah,
leading the Unity Squad was such a great step in the right direction for him. But then
mhm.
he did that press conference where he said, "Don't
Yeah.
call me the M word," and
Mhm.
that's it. Done. Like the character from that point on has been written so terribly, has been written like a doofus, just complete like nosedive for the character.
Yeah, that is. I thought you were going to say that. That's generally what is known as, yeah, the Havoc moment where
Yeah.
he nosedives off a cliff, his character. But I will maybe challenge that and say that he was mishandled a bit before that in Milligan's run. He felt like Emma's
Oh
bitch
yeah.
boy.
Oh
And then
yes.
he was in space and he was a bit whiny about his brother. I don't think he came across well during Deadly Genesis. And then in Avengers versus X-Men, I think he went over to the Avengers a bit too quickly. I know that they were just showing random characters on the Avengers side when it came down to the big fight. But it did pain me that Havoc wouldn't stick by his brother. Like, that
Yeah.
annoyed me. So,
I
yeah, there were like hints before.
I just like it breaks my heart because you know what? I thought Rise and Fall, I'd have to reread how he was there. I liked him in Rise and Fall.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that he can come back and lead the Avengers, I thought was nice, but it quickly went out the window. And I agree, he should stick with Cyclops. And then during, oh my gosh, what was it called? Where the axis, where they switched sides and he became evil and his face was kind of like burnt off. I was just
Yeah.
like, what are you doing to Alex? Just and
And his
then
child with Wasp,
oh my God, man. Like I can't think of a
missteps.
more horrible character to procreate with.
Oh dear.
Fucking the Wasp. And the Wasp is responsible for House of M because she couldn't hold her alcohol when she and Wanda were by the pool and like was like, LOL, Wanda. You thought you could have kids, and Wanda's like, "What do you mean?" And that's when Wanda remembers that she had Billy and Tommy, and then goes crazy. So it's all Wasp. It's her fault. She destroyed the X-Men. And then there's Havoc being like, let's build a family together.
Yeah.
And by
Havoc
the
got mixed
way,
up with the Avengers and it all went wrong.
and neither one of them ever, because I believe they were told, we'll give you the exact date and time for you to conceive so you can have your child again. What was her name? Kate, I'm forgetting. And neither
Mhm.
one of them has agreed to create that child again. So,
Havoc, we mourn your past from the 90s.
she's holding
What a
a
shame.
Salem Center moving box. I think that's kind of cute. Like good for them. That's how Xavier is able to pay for the mansion. He has his own business on the side because so many people are moving in and out.
Yeah.
Um, so she's gone, and we
She's
cut.
going back to the mansion, which, yeah, she did originally start with the X Men. It did mention that in the original show, didn't it? Because she
Yeah,
was in training with Iceman. Yeah, so there's a couple of things I want to get into here. Yeah, so we're currently watching the scene where she goes back home. We're back at the mansion now. It looks clean.
yep. And Xavier is giving the speech to the students, welcoming them to the X-Men, and this is where he hits the Danger Room simulation, and he tells the students that danger lurks in every corner, and the Sentinels come, and he says, "Welcome to the X-Men." So that's the scene.
So the kids are a mix of the Generation lot and Morrison's lot, and then anybody else that just has an obvious mutation, like Shark Girl, who looks ridiculous in the opening shot. So
There's
you know
Shock.
we, Boy, Loa, they have obvious mutations. Pixie, Glob, they're all there, and
Yep.
Wing is the one who doesn't, and he's going to be killed soon.
Oh, poor Wing. Martha, no brain. Yeah, no, not no brain. What's her name again? Martha Johnson. And no girl, no girl.
No
We
brain.
got no brain. She's like a fucking brain. It's like, well, I guess that means the human exists in this world because that's how she got like that. Um, Chamber looks great. M looks great. Sync
Yeah.
looks great. Dust. I'm so happy to see them. Dupe is there as
Mhm.
well. Um, okay. I'm just gonna say this. They robbed Emma Frost of this scene. The scene in the comics in Astonishing X-Men is supposed to be Emma doing it.
Yeah.
And the reason for it was because at the time, Emma taking over as co-head mistress of the Xavier Institute was like revolutionary for the X-Men, who still thought of Emma as a villain. And Emma
Mhm.
running the Danger Room simulation was supposed to stress the point that she was different from Xavier. And she was saying, we've learned the first lesson. They will always hate us. We will never live in a world of tolerance. They may respect us, but
Mhm.
don't think that means acceptance. And it was a very powerful moment for Emma. And here, I wish they wouldn't have done it because I think that is a distinctly Emma Frost scene. This is just like Xavier's orientation, like, welcome to the X-Men.
He's having a laugh, like traumatizing new students.
I know it's like as if he doesn't really have like a reputation for traumatizing students, but I don't know.
Well, if Onslaught is revealed, we can maybe say, "Wow, this scene comes across really differently now." He's
Oh,
like
that's a good
out of his
point.
mind with grief, traumatizing these kids. So I think it works. I like it. I get your whole point. Yeah, it is Emma's moment, and she was deprived of it on the show.
They could have done anything else. That's the only thing. I'm not criticizing that in this world Xavier is in there welcoming new students. It's just why did
Mhm.
you adapt a scene that was very Emma Frost? And again, you're
Yeah.
blowing through like we've barely even started touching on the Morrison, you know, era here. Now you're already doing astonishing. You're just burning through the content really quickly. And that's what it just upsets me like that because I think astonishing is a really good access point. But there's Storm, who is now headmistress.
Yep. Headmistress of the elements. That was a good line.
I love that.
Who knew that Bellaris is witty?
Polaris is what she's got that doctorate degree. I forgot what she got a doctorate degree in. What is it, like engineering or something like that? But good for her.
Architecture?
Oh yeah, you're right. It was architecture. I completely forgot
Yeah.
about that. Dr. Polaris, thank you very much. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun scene. It gets the point across. And the one thing we should mention though is that Xavier says that the government has outlawed the X-Men.
Hmm, that is really interesting. Yeah. Oh, here's Boom Boom.
Yeah,
Sorry, we're just
yeah.
looking at the screen of the episode. Yeah, yeah. It's quite weird. I mean, how do you outlaw? What are you gonna? How do you? That didn't kind of
I don't
sit
get it.
well
So
with
are
me.
you outlawing the Avengers as well then? The Fantastic
But like,
Four?
if they're outlawed, why aren't they arrested? Does it mean they can't
Yeah.
hang out together or they can't use their powers in public? Like, what does that mean?
But like they're the ones who stopped Magneto. Magneto was not a member of the X-Men. Like I'm assuming
And
because of what
Bastion.
happened. Yeah, Bastion, what happened with Bastion and Magneto and Asteroid M. I'm assuming that's why they have this outlaw, but it doesn't make sense because they're the ones who stopped them.
Yeah. Well, like, if the government wants Havoc and Strong Guy to take on Apocalypse, then good luck.
Oh yeah, and that's right. I guess now the government has their own team. But then again, that
Yeah.
brings up the point, like, then is Spider-Man? Like we're getting into Civil War
Yep.
territory here. Like does
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange,
And
Daredevil?
I don't, no spoilers, but obviously this was in the trailer. It did show Siren in the trailer. Is Siren Polaris's replacement next week?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Really? I mean, she is mentioned in the
Yeah, no,
trailer,
no,
so
she is. Oh my God. Are you saying
yeah.
they fired Polaris and they hired Siren?
Yeah, I'm totally saying that.
I love that. Like freaking, like, I'm sorry, Lorna. Who would you pick to have on your team? Siren or Polaris?
Polaris, yeah. Siren is more of X Force to me because she did obviously in the later years join X Factor and she was great, but I was a kid when she was with X Force.
So this scene here is supposed to be essentially Kitty returning to the mansion in Gifted, but with Polaris.
Right.
She's walking through the
Okay.
mansion. Everyone's at the assembly, but she just got in and she's looking at,
Mm-hmm.
her memories. I mean, Kitty had manifestations, but here there's actually framed photos. No framed photos of Gambit, just of Magneto and Xavier.
with with Xavier. Poor Gambit.
And
They've
then
kept her
Polaris was,
room.
yeah,
Like, or yeah, weird. Was the
I
room destroyed and they who knows?
I don't get this. Like, why? Like, especially if you have new students coming in, why wouldn't you clear this
Yeah.
out? She hasn't been there for years at this point, at least four
Imagine being
years.
Archangel. Archangel's like dying for a room anywhere. But Polaris like the Xavier's like, no, that room's taken. There's no room at the end. Poor
I mean,
Archangel.
I love it. I mean, she's Polaris. I would have been friends with her in the 90s. She's like a little punk rock girl. I love it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she has okay, this is what confuses me. Let's break this down a little bit here because I do want your thoughts on this. Okay, so she has a photo of her and Iceman. That tracks because they were on the team before. But she left at before Storm joined the X-Men. So how do Jean, Storm, and Polaris have a selfie together?
Are
And
you insinuating that Storm photoshopped herself into a photo of Jean and Polaris?
I think so. That's exactly what I'm insinuating. And then they've never confirmed Angel to be part of the
Yeah.
original X-Men. It's been hinted at, he's been in the background, but did Xavier mind wipe everyone but kept the photos of Warren on
Plus,
the X-Men?
who took that photo if they're all there? Havoc?
Oh. That's why Havoc's so angry. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they put it like on a stand and they had to do the timing, but like that's like they're like perfectly like shot there. And for those of you listening, it's the shot of like the O5 with Polaris and she's hovering above them.
Yeah.
The continuity doesn't make sense. These photos here do not make sense to me.
Yeah. This is the only podcast where we'll dissect the photos on a stand in a frame that were there for 1 second. I do want to say, though, people were saying to me, why isn't she mourning Iceman if he died in Genosha?
Yeah.
like their morning Magneto or Gambit. Yeah,
I do think
Iceman's
that
fate
was,
is not yet sealed.
yeah, it's not yet sealed. I think originally, from what I've understood over the years from various sources, is that she was supposed to be mourning Iceman. That would have been part of the original
Mm-hmm.
plot here. However, the final product, absolutely not. Again, they've rewritten this episode a couple times in the last few years. She is not mourning Iceman. There's a photo of Iceman, but she does not acknowledge it.
Yeah,
Oh, I
nobody's
didn't notice
acknowledging
this. He Beast is
Howard the
wearing
Duck.
his Howard the Duck shirt from the Phoenix
Yeah,
Saga they wore. Yes.
yes. And Polaris has on her wall a 40-mile-per-hour sign that she's stolen. Um, that's not even like a top speed. That's like, I guess you do that in your towns in
Yeah.
the US. 40 miles
Yeah,
per hour.
that's
Yeah,
like neighborhood, like
that's like the most
35,
basic
40.
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stolen the one that's like everywhere.
Yeah.
She couldn't be bothered to get like a 70-mile-per-hour sign.
You know what used to be cool for like kids of our generation, excuse me. You used to steal the stop signs. How dangerous was that? I never did, to be very clear, but it was really like cool to have like a stolen stop sign in your bedroom. Back in the
Mm,
day. I mean, that was the counterculture. Again, very dangerous. Don't ever do that. But yeah, 40 miles per hour. You couldn't agree with you
lame.
more. Lame
Yeah.
Polaris. So Beast and Cyclops and Jean welcome her back. Even though it looked like in
Yeah.
the original episode they did not know each other at all. So now they're
True.
all best
Yeah, that's
friends.
true. They're having to
So
retcon this. I mean, Cyclops doesn't care about her. He never has in the comics. He doesn't care about her here. Jean dragged him to the room.
um I like the like kind of like the chemistry between Polaris and Beast. Like they're both like the brainy
Mm-hmm.
ones. And I like that. That's a nice little like nod to
So I have
like
a
them being
theory.
smart.
I like Polaris in this because she kind of has a clean slate with most characters who are like post Dark Phoenix team.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Oh
So
yeah,
she works
perfect.
really well with Bishop because they have like no history really, and there are characters who Pilar and Gambit in the comics. Remember, she teamed up in the all new X Factor.
Oh
She
yeah.
worked really well with him, and she has a thing with Rogue because of Magneto. They have a bit of a history there. So Polaris is kind of a clean slate from a lot of characters because she hasn't been on a lot of teams with main X Men. Is that
And this
fair?
is no, the 100% fair. And you know what? I This is why I like talking to you because I'm actually warming up to this episode a little bit more as we're talking about it. And again, you saying
Mm.
that she has a clean slate because like I would say that Polaris ever since Chuck Austin, and listen, I've said this before, we've had Chuck Austin on the podcast, great guy. I have reread
Hmm.
his run several times, but that era of Polaris going forward, she's been a little bit of a messy character. And this is like how you want Polaris to be, like really cool, a little punk, very smart. Um, kind of like questioning her role as Magneto's heir apparent. I like her a lot in this, actually. I like her a lot more now talking about her with you than I did when I initially saw this.
I actually think this whole season is slightly Chuck Austin coded, and I'm actually here for it because you've got the Genosha thing, which we've seen. I want to say Morrison slash Austin coded. Polaris was in Morrison's run when they went to Genosha, and then they went back. Do you remember with
Yep.
Wolverine at the end of his run? And then remember Polaris took on the Purifiers. She was like unleashing on them. And then there's her relationship with Havoc, which was on the rocks in Austin's run. I'm really here for this. It's kind of Chuck Austin. I don't want to see the Draco. Don't lose your hair, guys. I don't want to see the Draco. I just think it's slightly peppered with a sprinkling of Chuck Austin.
Planet X-Men wants to see Nurse Annie make her debut here at the mansion. I mean, they are going to need like some kind of medic. Beast can't. I mean, I guess at the end of this episode, Beast leaves with Xavier to form X Corp. So they're going to need someone on staff who's like a nurse. So, and they got all these new kids. They're playing jump rope with Morph as Mr. Fantastic. So, what
I
if one of
mean,
them trips?
calm down, Quicksilver. Beast isn't going anywhere. You're writing him out of the show because of one scene. I think he'll be fine. You're trying to replace Beast.
I need Beast out. I would rather
I
take Nurse
know.
Annie. I would rather have Nurse Annie than Beast.
Poor Beast. Oh no. And yeah, this Mr. Fantastic skipping scene goes on way too long.
I
Like,
know
let's
it's in
cut
the
that now.
background. Like those
Yeah,
kids, man. Like give them a
they're
fucking. They're
not
gonna
that
have a heart
good.
attack. Look at Gene waving. Look, to your point, Cyclops has his back to Polaris, and Gene's the only one waving goodbye to her.
I don't want to see the Polaris scenes. I want to see the scenes of Jean nagging Cyclops to go and say hi to her. He's like, I have to read the files from the past X-Men that were in Egypt. And Jean's like, no, Scott, you're coming with me to say hi to her. And he's like, Jean. he never wanted to.
So here's the scene,
Yep.
directly from Astonishing X-Men.
Bishop's back.
Bishop is back, and he's giving CPR to Wing, who I guess the Danger Room somehow hurt him. We don't see it; it just cuts directly there.
We don't see it, yeah. And Cinch gets a couple of lines, or Sync, as the rest of the world says. He has a voice actor. He gets a couple of lines here, which gives me optimism. I really don't think these kids should have been in the Danger Room in the first place. after Xavier had his head stomped by Apocalypse's foot, especially.
Wait, let me see. Okay, so it's Forge and Storm who talk to
Mhm.
Polaris, and then Morph comes to say something's up in the Danger Room, and so Bishop, I guess, was the one leading them in the Danger Room. I was gonna be like, "There's no teacher
Yeah.
there," but you have Bishop. So Storm like powers up Bishop, and he uses his powers to resuscitate Wing. So in the comic books, Wing is dead. I don't.
Mhm.
Was he resurrected on Krakoa? Were they like, sorry, LOL, JK, sorry, Wing? Wing.
I don't think so.
So in the comics, what happens here is that Wing is really depressed
Oh,
because he was
He
given
was
the
resurrected.
cure.
Sorry, he was.
He was
He was in
resurrected.
X Factor. Yeah, X
Oh,
Factor.
okay. So he was given the cure in the comics, and he's so depressed, and the Danger Room manipulates him into taking his own life. So that's what happens. So here, presumably, something just happened with the programming that hurt him, but it was him taking his own life in the original comics.
Yeah.
So then there's like an emergency, and Storm has to leave, and they're helping Wing, and this is when the Danger Room becomes self-aware and starts attacking them.
What's interesting is there's no Wolverine in this episode, and not much Rogue either, which I thought was interesting. People wanted more Wolverine. They gave him it for one episode, but he doesn't make an appearance in this one, sadly. Yeah, and then the Danger Room starts attacking these kids who are completely useless. You've got Monet, Quentin Quire, Cinch, Chamber, powerful mutants, but they don't do anything. Unfortunately, I really want to see them use their powers.
Yeah, well, Kid Omega is a Omega level psychic, right? I don't know if that's
Telekinetic.
confirmed. Telekinetic. He's incredibly powerful. Sync can sync his powers with anyone. And Monet,
Polaris, Bishop, Quentin, yeah.
and Monet is everything. It's like Wonder Woman. So I agree. It's not even like there's no attempt to fight. Oh, there is Sync like levitating Wing, but like I guess how are you levitating Wing? Like because is it Polaris? Is he seeing?
Yeah, Polaris was doing it before, and I didn't see it's now Cinch's colors, rainbow colors. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. This is a good group of mutants that Bishop has brought in to the room. Well,
This is fun. I want to show just with these characters. I mean, I 100% agree with you. Hang on, I'm taking a screenshot of it because I love it so much. I want give me an episode focus here, but yeah, the Danger Room is self-aware and it's attacking them, and she kicks their asses and she manifests, and here she is.
It's a good fight. Yeah, people said to me they didn't like how she became sentient. I didn't mind. She's obviously been planning to get someone in who can charge her. Polaris was that charge, so that makes sense. Danger's voice is really sultry. I do not imagine her with that voice in the comics. It's really, I mean, I can see why Cypher was kind of attracted to her if she's like whispering into his ear with this voice. So fight, fight, fight. Brilliant fights. This is great scenes. We see Polaris's power, Bishop's power.
I thought so she knocks out Polaris, Polaris wakes up. I thought this was going to
Mm-hmm.
be a danger room simulation. I thought this wasn't real. And then obviously
Oh.
it is real. And Polaris finds out because she woke up with the rest of the team
Mm-hmm.
because Storm is explaining that Danger is on her way to Genosha in her little plane, in her little X-Jet, and she wants to confront Charles Xavier. But again, like there's no reason why she would be angry at Xavier here because we didn't know he didn't know that she was sentient. Again, that was a big plot point in the comics that Danger was sentient and Xavier ignored her and imprisoned her, and that's you know why
Maybe
she's
it's
so
just because
angry.
Xavier was sassy at the start of the episode.
She doesn't like talk back.
No,
Okay, so they
we're
arrive.
deep. Yeah, we're deep into the Astonishing X-Men comic now. The
Yeah,
second arc
yeah.
for all you X fans. Yeah.
We've covered Gifted, Lightly, and
Mm-hmm.
Danger as well, and this is again this is from the Excalibur run where Xavier after Planet X goes to Genosha to rebuild Genosha, and in Astonishing, Danger goes to confront him on Genosha.
Yes. We're getting a slight mix of arcs here. Yeah, again, it's the Chuck Austin where they go and bury Magneto. You can see a statue in the background. They're playing Vigil to the Fallen. And yeah, the Astonishing arc and Excalibur, as you say, a really deep dive where all the Xavier went to rebuild Genosha, basically.
Yeah. Here's the thing. There's no reason why they're supposed to be in the Morrison costumes. So we get to Genosha,
Mm.
and now all of a sudden, this is the first official time do we see
Mm-hmm.
Beast, Jean, and Cyclops in the Morrison costumes. But there's no reason
The
for it.
Yeah. The fans loved it. I think that was the only reason. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
indifferent, but they do look good in this cartoon. They really
yeah.
do.
No, they look
Xavier
beautiful.
had a Morrison costume, but he doesn't wear it. He wears his suit.
Yeah,
And Storm also refuses to wear one.
okay. It is such a crime that they wouldn't do the Salvador LaRocca new X-Men suit they gave Storm in that
With the
crossover with Emma.
ponytail.
With like the ponytail, the crop top and the skirt. She looks
Mm-hmm.
so good. I'm talking about this purely from a fashion standpoint. It is such a good look. It is criminal that she doesn't have that. But I guess they're establishing X Corp. That's the big reveal at the end of this episode. So these are not X-Men uniforms. So Storm
Mm-hmm.
is headmistress, but she is not but she is not part of X Corp. This you need Emma and Wolverine here. I'm sorry. I cannot believe they did not give us Emma and Wolverine.
It's interesting because Jean is the headmistress in the comics during this era. So it's
Yeah.
interesting they give it a store. Maybe there's something big coming that excites me. Yeah. So yeah, we've got a little Genosha scene here, and then a big fight happens.
Yeah, all of a sudden they've taken it like really matter of factly that the Danger Room is self-aware and has its own body and is now coming to kill them. And Jean and Cyclops just jump into battle, and Jean uses her powers differently than what the Danger Room would know, and she uses like a psychic claws of Wolverine to ricochet Cyclops' optic blast.
It wasn't enough for me. We see Polaris take on Danger. Jean can do everything that Polaris does and more. Polaris can only control metal. Jean has telekinesis. She can control everything. But Jean gets her ass handed to her. It's so annoying. She could have. Ugh. Oh, I know it was a. We're showing Polaris versus Danger. That was the big moment. But Jean, it annoyed me in the way that '90s Jean from the original show always fell down, and she wasn't like that in the first season.
Yeah, and you know, like the way they attack Danger, and I get it. This is a cartoon. We have 30 minutes. We have to get out of here. All they do is like Jean just levitates rocks at her, and they
Yeah,
don't even try to do anything. Like Jean, in theory, could just use her telekinesis to pull Danger apart. That's it.
like her fight with Sinister.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just seems like very odd that Jean's like intuition wasn't just to go like eh. And you said this beautifully in the first episode we recorded that Jean chooses not to take down the horseman because Jean can
Mhm.
do it in the snap of a finger.
She is being, what's the word? She's being underwritten.
Yeah. They've nerfed her. I
Mm,
think modern people call it
nerfed.
nerfing. Like she's
Nerfed.
nerfed. And same with
Okay, my
Cyclops,
favorite bit of
man.
the episode.
All right,
This is
let's
my
hear it.
favorite bit of the episode.
Tell me. Talk to us. Talk to us about it.
Xavier versus Danger. His his hoverboard chair turns into a death machine. He slides out of it with this little bed, and then it explodes, and he rolls off it. Wow, Xavier, he had all that built in.
I mean, listen, the fact that he did that, but wait, so I'm confused by this. I have to, okay, that was the X Jet. I was like, what attacked Danger? So he still has like he can control everything with just like a button there.
Mhm.
Danger really in the comic books hates Xavier. So that was kind of like an earned battle. Here, it's just kind of like an earnest, like she just wants to kill him. She's a murderous robot here. Now she has an
Yeah.
axe. She literally like Chris, she's coming after Xavier with a fucking axe.
I'm here for it.
And Xavier's like, "Oh no, to me, my X-Men, help me." Uh, is she gonna decapitate him? Dude, can you imagine if she decapitated him? That's gonna be worse than what happened with him in Uncanny Avengers when Red Skull opened up his brain.
He was watching scenarios with Apocalypse this morning. He's ready for death.
He's ready. He's here like, just kill me,
Yeah.
please. But you know what? Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, this moment here, I wonder if he's kind of like I'm ready to die. Like my
Hmm.
best friend Magneto is dead. Um, so Polaris uses her powers to get the axe, which is made of metal,
Yeah.
and then hits Danger with it. That doesn't seem too creative. Why didn't Danger see that coming?
Yeah. Polaris is the most intelligent person in the room here. She's using Danger's body against her.
Yeah,
Jean was
yeah.
making just telekinetic claws. I'm
She just
sorry,
wanted to
Jean
shout out
fans. I'm
Logan.
sorry.
She just wanted
Yeah.
to shout out Logan because she misses Logan. She
Yeah.
wants to see him in the Morrison outfit with like his bare chest. So she's just thinking of him.
This is the third fight that Polaris gets in this episode to show her powers.
Yeah.
I just want to say that stat because some people haven't got that even in the show so far, like the season from
Yeah.
X Men.
There's a lot of love given to Polaris here. And,
Yeah.
again, over the years, a lot of scoopers have told me that this is going to be Polaris's season, like big plans for
Oh.
her. So let's see.
I was reading. People were saying to me that they could skip this episode and the last episode, and it would be fine. They wouldn't miss anything. I completely disagree with that. A show like X Men and the original season and other shows, they needed these Monster of the Week episodes. You
Yeah,
needed these downtimes. We're learning about this character, her relationships with the other character. We don't need Apocalypse every episode scheming and fighting the X Men and the overarch of the season. We need episodes like this, and we need the Wolverine one with Morph. We need that. We need these episodes. I know there's only 9 episodes and it's tight, super tight, but there is, I think all of this is integral to the season.
I agree with you. I
Good.
These episodes are meant to be fun. In fairness to any
Yeah.
criticisms, any nitpicking that we do or I do, um, they're supposed to be fun and they're supposed to give you insight to the character. Like this is supposed to be
Mhm.
like this episode, your takeaway is Polaris coming back to the X-Men and coming to terms with her potential heir apparent as Magneto's daughter and sort of accepting that relationship. It's not neatly,
Yeah.
packaged here, but that's how in the end they're able to defeat Danger. But I think people are hungry for that apocalypse storyline. And I think the worry is that we have 3 episodes left after this, and we still
Mhm.
haven't, if it was like a 20 episode season, you want your standalones. But for something like
Mhm.
9 episodes, it's like you're burning through story. You're not focusing on the story that you already established. We're kind of like we're getting worried here. Um, so I think this episode and the last episode, I'm glad they exist, and they're supposed to spark that curiosity.
Yeah, I do get what you mean by burning through stories, especially the big stories
Yeah,
of this era. Yeah, I get it, but we do need the X Men are about character relationships at the
yeah,
forefront, so we need ones like this. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Oh,
I
she's
hope those
ready.
people watch the episode again. People said they watched Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs again, and they enjoyed it. So I'm
Yeah.
glad. Watch this episode again after. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, someone who did not like it, I want to be very clear. I did not like it. Um, Watching it again here with you, I've actually realized I was like, you know what, maybe I was a little too harsh. That is
Okay.
shot directly. Pilar's raising her hand. It's from the new X-Men Phil Jimenez issue, where she reaches
Oh,
out
okay.
to Magneto
Yeah.
on Genosha, or the statue of Magneto,
Nice.
and
So
then her
Danger,
wings.
she has her wings. She's defeated here. Are we going to see Danger again?
I don't know. She looks pretty defeated, but like, Danger should have backups somewhere. She's on the Wi-Fi. She dialed out.
Does this mean no more Danger Room?
I know. What does this mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what like does the Danger Room still like function? I don't know, but at the end we get a little press conference where X Corp is established.
Mm-hmm.
And Val Cooper is upset about that. She's here like, what? That's kind of like a loophole here. And we
Yep.
get Nightcrawler and Rogue joining X Corp, and they sit around a table and they talk about a coming threat, which is Apocalypse.
So there was a round table in the first season with Banshee and Moira and Emma and Sebastian. It's very that coded again, and there's other seats there.
Yeah.
Yeah, X Corp. We'll see where they go with it. I mean, it went nowhere. X Corp is about fighting for mutant rights. It went nowhere in the original series, and then Krakoa kind of brought it back. Um, yeah, let's see what happens with that.
And then the very last scene is the Watcher, because the Watcher has nothing better to do than
Yes,
see a Chuck Austin story, or I'm sorry, Peter Milligan story adapted, and it's Apocalypse
in
who
Athens,
in Athens, okay, in Athens, resurrecting Gambit as the Horseman of Death.
he's not using anything in Egypt. The pyramids. He went to Athens in the temple of Zeus, on the Acropolis. He's. This is very odd to me. Why he went to Athens? Does that say something?
Okay, can I tell you something? My friend Jason, Nerd Alert, shout out to him, pointed this out, and now I can't unsee it. So, do you see how he's hitting Gambit with the power to resurrect him? And then Apocalypse says, increase the power. But he's alone in the room. And so he increases the power himself. So why did he just say that out loud? Increase the power. It's like he's like motivating himself.
That's classic Apocalypse. You've seen him monologue on the original show.
That's true. He's
That was a
monologuing. He
good
doesn't care.
throwback.
Um,
Yeah.
so now apparently Apocalypse has all these cards hanging around and they all transform into tarot cards. That
Yeah.
are reminiscent of him and Rogue, and it engulfs Gambit, and Gambit now becomes the Horseman of Death.
People are decoding the cards, what this all means. I am going to sit and wait for this. We knew this moment was coming.
Yeah.
It was kind of a blink and you'll miss it moment. This was a really like 1 minute bit at the end of the episode. He doesn't look like his horseman look in the comic. He just it's like Shadow Gambit here.
Yeah. It's
We'll
a very
see.
different look. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how it all like. I haven't seen the character model, so this is the first time I'm seeing it. I'm really curious about it. I do think it's kind of cheesy that he's like engulfed in cards, but like it's fine. I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
How did Apocalypse even know who Gambit was? He barely knows
I
who He barely knows who Jean Grey is.
I love you. So you have the best commentary, like Chris. I love. We're gonna have to continue our weekly calls after 97 because I love your. I just love how you talk. I love how
Like if you
your
think of all
humor.
the episodes Apocalypse was in, I don't know if Gambit ever factored into any of
You
them.
never cared about Gambit. Yeah, because Gambit's storyline really ran through like Bishop and the X Trader
Mm.
and New Orleans. Um, Rogue, just one final thought. Rogue is in her extreme, or excuse me, her new X-Men costume, but it took place during Extreme X-Men when
Mhm.
she was trying to save Gambit and Jean was trying to sell them on joining the new X-Men. So that's where that costume comes.
Mhm.
She wears it very briefly in the comics.
I like these costumes. Yeah, I'm here for them.
Yeah, Xavier doesn't have the yellow on his jacket. It's all gray. I wonder what the decision process for that was.
He's in mourning.
He's in you're right. He's wearing gray because he's in mourning. Wow. All right, so final thoughts? Any final thoughts, Cece? Or Chris?
Yeah, I love the episode. Yeah, it was. I thought it was great again. Xavier's obsession with Magneto is getting a little weird now. It kind of overshadowed this episode a little bit, especially the when Polaris said, "I feel him inside me," and Xavier went, like that was weird. Uh, if Magneto comes back, I don't know how elated Xavier is going to be. I'm worried for the
He
hoverboard.
he also said what else did Xavier say? He said that I can't feel him in me. I was trying to sense if he was anywhere in me, but I can't. So I don't know if like maybe
Yeah.
they're trying to allude to Onslaught and he's lying, or really
Mm-hmm.
they're writing out Onslaught. To my impression, that is a writing out the concept of Onslaught. But let's see where the story goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that links the scene with the Polaris scene when he says, "I can't feel him within me," and then later on she says, "I felt him," and he said, mm. I think that was a nod.
I don't think this was the greatest episode that we've gotten this season, but watching it again with you and sort of dissecting it, I like it much better than when I first saw it.
Good.
All right, guys, you let us know your thoughts. Chris, where can the folks at home find you?
I'm Planet X Men on Instagram.
And I'm at Power of X-Men on Instagram, and we will see you guys next week.